Hey YouTube friends, today I wanted to show some of the game that I've been working on for a couple years now, on and off. Um, it hasn't been 2 straight years, of course, because of work and other things, but I think it's been about maybe a year and a half or 2 years um, since first creating this project, and I just wanted to show where I'm at. So we've got this menu here. Really only the new adventure and exit game buttons work right now. Exit game takes you out of the game. You can confirm. I'm not going to do that because I want to show you the game. Options takes you to this blank page, which will have options. And these other two buttons don't do anything. So new adventure brings us into this Galaxy Seed customizer. Starts at 1337. I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way, but figured I'd do it. Yeah, you can put any 5-digit number in here. You could put 0 in here, you could put 999999. You could put any number in between there that you want. And each number is going to give you a unique galaxy that you can always come back to. Just remember that seed number. So let's say 52151, because I visited it earlier and I like the look of it. We've got, a nice nebula in the back. We've got some nice variety of planets to look at here. And really, as it is right now, no matter what seed you put in, there's going to be a nice variety of planets. Sometimes you get too many lava planets. This is a lava planet, and it's a little hectic looking. This is probably the most unsightly thing that is in the game right now. Lava planets are in development. So you'll see we have lava planets, we have ice planets, we have jungle planets, we have swamp planets, sand planets, temperate planets, jungle planets. I don't really know how many. I think I have like maybe 15 types of planets that I've just plugged in for it to say. So you'll see, I guess I gotta slow down a little bit and explain. So you drive around in your ship here, and it's going to be kind of a space pirate game. It's based on Sid Meier's Pirates loosely, so it's going to be kind of a space pirate game. But really, I want you to have the freedom to not be a pirate if you don't want to be. Work for factions or rescue people or kind of go your own way. But in the beginning, it's going to be a space pirate game. So I've got your ship that you can fly around to different planets with. You've already seen that. The ship is not going to look like this in the final game. This is just, placeholder stuff that I've built. In the final game, you'll have many ships to choose from. You'll have, you'll start out with a low-end ship and you'll work your way up by either commandeering other ships or, hijacking or purchasing with money that you will have earned as a good Samaritan. Regardless, you'll be able to travel to different planets, and each planet has a map that comes up when you inspect it. You've got this coordinate system that goes from -180, -90, to +180, +90, and you essentially can land anywhere that it allows you in that space. So each planet has many, many, many places to land, and each place you land is a unique place that you can go back to, and it will be the same. So it's semi-procedurally generated. I'll get back to that in a little bit. But you can play on foot, so that's part of the big appeal to this game for me, is that you get to fly around, have dogfights, and then land and have a dual-stick shooter kind of running around game. You'll notice that there's a bit of a freeze here. There's a bit of a loading action happening. And that's because the Navmesh takes a long time to load right now. Um, the Navmesh basically tells the AI where it can walk around and where it can't walk around. And that takes a long time to make right now because every single one of these rocks that I'm using to build the level is using a complex collision, which means that every polygon you see on screen is being used for the collision generator, and that basically means it's really expensive right now. It takes a long time, like 30 seconds every time you land, to generate a nav mesh just for the AI to know where it is, and it will not do that in the final game. I will make sure I have some adequately simple collisions for each room. And when I say room, what I mean is, I'm going to go to the minimap really quick. Minimap's broken, as you can see, but the important thing is each of these, you can see it's a 5x5 setup of squares, essentially. And what it does is it procedurally generates a maze based on rooms that I've created. So each little square in the 5x5 grid is a room that was hand-built. So it gets the level of detail that I want it to have, and it gets my stamp of approval as a room, and then it can be placed into a maze by the computer, and the computer can basically make an endless amount of mazes out of the rooms that I build. And so you get a semi-procedurally generated game. So you don't get the procedurally generated kind of emptiness that I feel like a lot of procedurally generated worlds get. But you also, I don't have to craft thousands and thousands of worlds by hand from the ground up. I can build pieces of worlds basically as kind of Lego pieces for the computer, and the computer can intelligently plug those in to make rooms. So what you were seeing me run away from just a couple seconds ago, because I got on a tangent, and what you're seeing me shoot at now is the first enemy AI that I've built into the game. It's so simple. It's literally just proximity. Whenever it's close enough to you, it runs directly toward you, and that's all it knows how to do. If you get far enough away from it, it'll forget you're there. And the diamond above its head is its health bar. So if I take its health bar down, it disintegrates and is no more, sadly. But mostly these AIs were a proof of concept because they're the first AI that I've ever programmed into a game. So I wanted to make sure I could get these working inside this game first. And now, since I have these as a foundation, I can use them to create the more complicated AI characters that you'll have to negotiate with and kill, probably, in your misadventures on various planets. And when I say this is a pirate game, I mean it's very much a treasure hunting game. So there's going to be the potential for piracy in space, boarding action with other ships and hijacking people's ships, taking their loot and their taking their ship, maybe taking some of their crew members if they want to join you. But there's also going to be, ideally, I want you to be able to go to that space tavern and talk to the mysterious stranger in the corner, and he'll give you a piece of a map that maybe gives you the coordinates to an ancient relic or a mysterious, like a one-of-a-kind weapon or things like that. And so you'll want to go to those coordinates, and the game will remember which coordinates have good things and which ones are just empty. And that's where the hunting comes in. So you can't just go to every coordinate and get something good. You have to kind of kind of go on a little bit of a search, and maybe talk to some people so that you can get information on where the good stuff is. This is, don't pay attention to that. That's just, that'll be fixed later on. But yeah, you can see that there's a fully navigable world here, and it's all based on just pieces that I've made. You notice with these maps in particular that it's kind of hard to tell where you're supposed to go and where you're not supposed to go, and that's something I want to fix in the future. I'm going to redesign the rocky worlds, which is what you're seeing here, and I'm also going to have to design each other type of world as far as when you're on the surface. But when I do that, I'm going to try and make it much, much more clear where you can and cannot go. But what I'm really happy with is just how far I've gotten only using blueprints. Everything you're seeing here is built with only blueprints. No C++ and no extra plugins from any third-party source of any kind. It's all from the ground up using blueprints. It's one of the first games I've ever made with blueprints, so I don't have a lot of previous experience. It's all just learning as I go, pretty much. And, I'm just happy with the little stuff, like being able to land at coordinates and, having the surface of the planet match in color to the planet in orbit, When you were in orbit, you saw this planet had its kind of orange rocks and its kind of green atmosphere, and here we are. Orange rocks and kind of a green gaseous atmosphere, fog going on down there. And, I'm happy with how much I've been able to do so far, and I just want to keep taking it as far as I can take it, because I want to play the game. I want to be able to play this game for real. But yeah, it's been a cool learning experience. There's quite a few things that I've done with blueprints that I haven't really seen any tutorials how to do. So if there's any particular things that I'm doing here that you guys want to know how I do, I can, when I get some more time, I can maybe do tutorials or maybe just kind of show the breakdown and answer some questions regarding that. And I'm always trying to be more free with my time, but it's a difficult thing. Sometimes life just happens and you lose the ability to have free time. But I'll try to answer any questions that I can, or just if you have any input on what would be a cool feature for this game. I know you don't have a huge, clear understanding of how the game works yet, but there's kind of a gist of it by watching what I've got here. So yeah, just wanted to show all the progress, show what you can do, or rather, yeah, what you can do in the game so far. I'm so happy with, I don't know if you've noticed, but the crosshair on the map here, when I'm over water or a place you can't land, the reticle turns red. That took a week, this past week, thinking about how I could possibly do that without using C++, because C++ is too deep for me to learn. So it was pretty much not an option. So being able to find a way to do it with blueprints was very cool. There's almost nowhere you can land over here. This whole middle area is a no-go. These are good though. there's some areas on the land that you're not able to land, and it's not completely in my control, but it's okay because I'm writing it off as jagged rocks. That's You can't land there because there's jagged rocks or too much overgrowth, something like that. There's plenty of places to land, so I'm not worried about that. I just didn't want people landing in the water and then getting, you know, uh, rocks or jungle, because it's, it's a bit of suspension of disbelief. So I just needed that inability to land in the water. And I haven't programmed in the actual inability yet, so you'll see now that I'm landing in the water, and I can guarantee you it's not going to be water because I built the game. It's a work in progress, but I think it's coming along pretty well for a one-man game, for first game that I've ever made. I'm pretty stoked with the progress. Pretty happy with how it's coming along. So yeah,